GM, we're live and we're waiting for two. It could be you who fills this big board. So appreciate all of you so much. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Monday morning. Felt like it was pretty quiet in the NFL streets this weekend. Not a whole lot in the way of news, unless I'm truly missing something. Felt like we're getting to the calm before the storm. I think a lot of us are occupied with March Madness. Pro days are slowly but surely happening. I suppose the one nugget of news on the pro day front is Jordan Tyson will be unable to perform at Arizona State's pro day due to lingering hamstring injury. So not great there. He has been falling in some drafts, but not really too much newsworthy. But I will say I've noticed him falling in some stuff this weekend. And oh my gosh, we got the 1.1. We got the 1.1 and we got Chris noting, let's be awesome for about an hour and a half. Appreciate you so much, Chris. Yes, this will be strictly limited to an hour and a half as Pete goes live with Best Ball Breakfast at 10, and I will be signing off before then and watching that stream as well. And I, of course, recommend you all do the same. But yes, we got an hour and a half, so we're really going to lock in here. We're in here at the 1. I see we got some friends and family in here. We've got Drinking Bleach, a.k.a. Skeletor, at the 7. We've got Blueless at the 10. Otherwise, I recognize the name Cut Cutler. I recognize this Tyler2121, but if you're in here, please let me know. Apologies if I missed you and you are in here. The Wax Pack Assemble, absolutely. Hey, Tasperucci, appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for coming in, hanging out, and of course for being part of the of the Wax Pack. Likewise, Gunnar Ross, appreciate you so much. GM, hope your morning is starting off well. Let's get Bijan, and we won't slow down because we're going to try to get 2 drafts in. So we will see. I was hoping this one might actually. I was sitting in this lobby about 10 minutes before we were going to go live. I was hoping to go live a couple minutes early, and this one didn't quite fill, but that's okay. Hey, Greg, appreciate you. GM's gang. GM to you, Greg. I got my sad Chua jersey on today, so I hope you're having a good morning there, fellow long-suffering Dolphins fan. Appreciate you so much, Greg. Hope your morning is starting off right. And money ain't a thing. Boom. Hey, good morning to you, money ain't a thing. Appreciate you so much for coming in, hanging out. My goodness, Puka at the 5. The one time we get the 1.1, there's value at the 5 hole. So there we go. So Puka goes at the 5, mostly because CMC gets pulled up to the 4 spot in this particular room by Team Trill. So a few no Badgers, or at least a couple no Badgers in here. And again, some names I don't really recognize in the room. So we'll see. Maybe we get some different stuff going on in here. Hey, Mr. Benninger, appreciate you. GM. So yeah, it's funny. I was hoping we would get some stuff coming in this weekend because it's really just a very, very slow news day. Just noticing some stuff on the ADP front. Kyler continues to rise up. Let me see what he is at now because he's come up quite a bit. Kyler is now all the way up to pick 109. So that's a pretty big rise, and it has been harder to get him, especially with how nicely his ADP now lines up with Jordan Addison, who has risen quite a bit. Addison is now up to pick 88. So with Addison at 88 and Kyler at around 102, you see a lot of people kind of double tap Addison and Kyler at the picks 8 or rounds 8 and 9. So it just sort of creates like a natural effect of where you have that drafter trying to create the stack, and now Addison kind of goes on that side of the board too. So it can be kind of hard to get him to fall because you have two guys competing for him. I've noticed that effect in some of my drafts. So if he's a guy that you're trying to get, it's definitely become more challenging. Hey, Blueless, GM to you. Hope you're having a great morning. Appreciate you coming in, hanging out. I see you in at the 10 hole, going Amon-Ra, Omarion Hampton. So I like that. I like that start so far. Nico Collins pulled up in this draft all the way to pick 13. He tends to live over on the left side of the board. Again, I don't mind that at all. You'll never get Nico coming all the way back to pick 36. So you're just not going to get a lot of James Cook, Nico Collins teams. So, if you rate Nico ahead of Drake London and Neighbors, then why not? I don't see this as anything bad, and is a kind of a cool way to get unique. Money Ain't a Thing at the mythical 13 spot. That does exist on DraftKings sometimes. It happened to me once a couple years ago. I was in a 13-person draft, and it got canceled mid-draft. I think Liam had the same thing happen to him once. It's a very weird bug. All right, let's take Bowers. Let's do a Bowers team. And then let's see what the sidekick wants me to do. I'm assuming it's going to want Josh Jacobs here. Yeah, I'll listen to the sidekick here. Take Josh Jacobs. So we got Bijan, Jacobs, Bowers. Not a bad start here. Bowers, of course, famously starting a vineyard. So very exciting stuff in the Bowers household that we talked about on Friday. Steven, WCGM, everyone. Hey, GM to you, Steven. I hope you are having a great morning today. Let's see what our friends and family are up to. The first of all, let's see what happened with the Puka drafters. So we got Puka, McBride, Pickens. Kind of funny. I guess you get Puka and Pickens a lot. Maybe McBride tends to go earlier, so it might be hard to get this trio. But just sort of interesting that this drafter got a little bit of a fall on Pickens after getting a little bit of a fall on Puka. And is just sort of recreating what happens at the 3-hole sometimes. Tyler here, he's going to be the only 3 wide receiver start, going Lamb, London, and Higgins. Again, just showing how kind of disfavored the heavy wide receiver starts are in 2026. Drinking bleach here, aka Skeletor. He goes JSN, Ken Walker, Chris Olave. I like that start there. I considered actually taking Olave over Jacobs, but ended up listening to the kick. Agreed, money ain't a thing. It is very high T over on the left side of the board, and I'm going to count Bowers as kind of a high T pick spiritually, along with the running backs. I feel like he fits in, and then of course Cutler doing the same thing over on the right with Genty Love and Kyron Blueless for his start goes Amon-Ra Hampton and Rashee Rice. Steven asking, what's your opinion on Walker? Are we expecting too much out of him? Not that he's going to be a bust, but he might not live up to expectations. I feel like that's a good question. I wonder what everyone's expectation of Walker is. To me, we're drafting him like at an appropriate spot, sort of after. Like, I literally think he goes kind of correctly. Maybe you could argue you should put Derrick Henry above him. But I feel like, he's a guy that we are going to have some annoying usage, I'm sure. Like, the Chiefs just kind of do that. We're going to get Kareem Hunt worked in, who was extremely efficient in short yardage situations. So we're probably going to lose some goal to go stuff. They're going to work in someone in the passing down, probably DeMercado or Brashard Smith is going to steal a few touches. So I anticipate Ken Walker getting around 60-65% of snaps, but he's also going to do it on a team that should be in a lot of positive game scripts. That's going to be a lot better. He's going to score touchdowns from range. We've seen him put up monster spike weeks. So I feel like if that's your expectation, then that's where he should go. But yeah, I think there are some people that think he's going to be like 25 touches a game and are going to be disappointed when it's like 16 to 18. So I don't know. So I guess that's my opinion is he's going fine, but I don't have like monster utilization expectations. I just think the team is going to be significantly better than it was. I think I think if you're expecting that, you're gonna be a little bit bummed out. All right, the sidekick wants me to take Mike Evans. I don't love Mike Evans, but I'll listen to the kid. He wants me to take Devontae Adams. I like Devontae Adams even less. Ugh. I'm going to take Mike Evans and see what it wants me to do. Is it going to recalculate to quarterback? Is it going to go Devontae Adams? What do you want me to do? All right, we'll take Devontae Adams. So far we're really we've listened to the sidekick every time. So Shady Sack, if you're out there, I can amend my ways. So we take Mike Evans, Devontae. I've been a little lower on Devontae Adams, and he's been sliding kind of accordingly. I definitely have some dust ball concerns with him. I think there's a good chance he has a much quieter year last year than last year, but we'll see. Sometimes you just got to eat your vegetables and listen to the sidekick. Steven says that is what I am. Yeah, exactly. Then I think if you have these reasonable expectations, you're not going to be disappointed. But again, if your last memory of him was that championship game and Super Bowl run, I think you might week 2 might roll around and you're like, oh my gosh, if he doesn't score week 1, be like, oh no, what have I done? Money, anything. Which of the first 10 running backs excite you the least excite you at cost? For me, CMC and Omari and Hampton. I actually think I'm aligned with you, Money Ain't a Thing. I'm lighter on CMC. He's the wheels feel like they're coming off of him, and now we're all that's left is the Shanahan volume hog, which could be fragile if he stops being really good. I mean, if he's still getting 90% of the carries and everything at the goal line and gets like 9 receptions a game, then yeah, he can only be so bad. I do have some fear that eventually comes to earth if he keeps being so inefficient as a runner. So I'm lighter on him, but not out, because again, the week 17, Purdy scored a 6-yard and a 10-yard rushing touchdown. I think if those go to CMC scored like 40 fantasy points, and he's probably who you needed in, I mean, ifs, ands, or buts, or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, there definitely was a world in which CMC was literally the guy you needed, because he still put up like 25 plus or 28 points in week 17. He just didn't go completely nuclear. So I don't want to be totally out on it, but I'm worried about it too. And yeah, I agree on Hampton. I agree on Hampton. I feel like there is some risk that it is more of a split. I think that we've all wanted to see Keaton Mitchell with more touches. It seems like McDaniel and Harbaugh are pretty excited to get him into the fold. It could be, it could be a little disappointing for Hampton. It's not like he looked that great as a rookie. We just really think the Chargers are going to be better. But there's a chance that some of the really fun stuff is not going to him. That said, he probably still is getting all the goal line work. We think the Chargers are going to score a lot of points. He's a second-year player, could get better. But I think I even prefer Saquon over him, because I think the Eagles are going to be a lot better than they were last season. So, grown man start. Yeah, it's a very mature start here. Copy, paste, laid. This Tyler drafter, though, after going 4 wide receivers, then goes Lamar and Burrow. So he does stack Burrow and Higgins, but I wonder if there's a little bit of buyer's remorse on taking Lamar Jackson there, because now that's a little bit aggressive. A little bit aggressive. All right. Let's see what we want to do. The sidekick is asking for Jalen Hurts. I actually think I agree there. Hurts would be my pick. Tyson has been falling. I am deeply concerned he falls out of the first round. of the draft based on all of this really squirrely injury stuff. So let's take Jalen Hurts and let the sidekick recalculate. I'm not going to go Hurts May, even if the sidekick tells me to do it. I refuse. I'm just not there, sidekick. I'm sorry. And I know the sidekick doesn't really like Michael Wilson as much as Metcalf, but I'm kind of a Michael Wilson guy, as many of you know. So I'm going to take Michael Wilson on this team. So for the audio listeners, we're up to a 1-3-1 start with Jalen Hurts, Bijan, Josh Jacobs, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Michael Wilson, and Brock Bowers. So I kind of like this start so far, but again, I just have real trouble going Hurts May there. But again, we can only listen to the sidekick so much. Hey, Arlox GM, I'm here on a Monday spring break. Hey, it feels early for spring break. Yesterday was like literally the first warm day, like pretty much all year. So, but yeah, that's awesome, Arlox. I hope you're having a great one. And yeah, enjoy spring break. Money ain't a thing. Next round, the sidekick tells you to invest in Bitcoin. There are those who simply say just top click the sidekick. And again, we did it for 6 rounds, and then we IKB just a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't abandon us though. Chris notes that Travion outscored Hampton last year and is going 2 rounds later. My issue with Hampton was just the usage at the end of the season scares me a lot. The fact that they were in that snowball against a team with literally like not a real quarterback. No offense to Stidham, but like they did not trust him at all. And he only got 6 carries in a game that they just kept the ball on the ground. I don't know. It does make me a little nervous. You're right. When Ramondre was out, Travion showed why we were all like foaming at the mouth to draft him in round 3 or 4 last year. I think from there, the difference is I don't think that he's supplanted Ramondre as RB1. So at best, he's kind of RB2. And at worst, like they just doesn't seem like they trust him. Money ain't a thing knowing 6-spot building a 7v7 monster. What is the 6 hole doing? Yeah, they don't have a running back yet. They still don't have a running back. My goodness. Well, I'm sure they'll take someone. So we can keep an eye on who Tyler 2121 takes, because that's a true 0 RB team. Hey, Purple Yosh, GM to you. Appreciate you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. Money ain't a thing is choosing Michael Wilson over MHJ. Last year proved Michael Wilson is the better RB, and he's returning his QB. I agree with you. I think MHJ were still stuck on our draft capital priors and the generational prospect talk, but I don't know what he's done in 2 years to show it. I'm just not buying it. And I know Michael Wilson didn't do much for 3 years, and he just had a weird breakout, a lot of volume, but I thought he looked really good out there. And he clearly has a rapport with Brissett. So I'm also taking Wilson over MHJ. I don't know why we're so glued to this. MHJ is going to be a thing. Chris says 7 hole is zigging while the whole best ball community is zagging. What could go wrong? Well, he finally took a running back, and he took Colin Mungai. That's not who I would take there, but you know what? To each his own. I do have some concern that Mungai is a little fragile. There's a touch fragile there. So it wants me to take Purdy. I don't hate that. Because we do have Mike Evans as wide receiver 1. So let's take Purdy. We now have Hurts and Purdy. What does it want me to do? If it wants me to take Knicks, like I just can't do that. All right, it wants Jadarian Price. I'm a little inclined to take Corum over Price because I do have Devontae on this team. So maybe we can build out a little bit of a Rams bet. I know what I'm or I kind of know what I'm getting with Corum. I don't love necessarily what I'm getting with Corum, but I'm really just not that excited about Price. The 4-hole is kind of insane here. We're going 1-7-1. CMC, Henry Allen, Javonte, and going Judkins, Chuba, Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins, and Gainwell. So they are hogging all of the running backs. Good God. So creating kind of a weird effect in this room, I have to say. That one drafter having 7 running backs through 9. That feels like we may have learned the wrong lessons and gone a little too far. Steven says, I think coaches put a lot of stock in pass blocking more than we do in fantasy, so maybe that's why Ramondre's earlier than Hendo, which is funny, right? Because wasn't Henderson, if I remember right, Henderson's whole thing was that he was like one of the better pass blockers coming out of college, but that has not translated. I will say it does feel like you can learn that. Like, you know, he is only a second-year player. Sometimes like learning these schemes is pretty tough. So I'm willing to say that if, you know, he puts in that work, that's something he can improve. But yeah, I agree. That is something that we, when we're watching film, and I say we, I mean people like me, not like, you know, Gretch who knows so much, you know, X's and O's football. You know, I'm watching a running back, and I'm watching to see, you know, what their vision's like. You know, I'm watching them run. I'm not necessarily as concerned on the plays for their pass blocking, but the coaches care about that stuff way more. You know, it's not really much fun watching like pass blocking highlights. So yeah, I completely agree with you. The coaching staffs put huge weights on that, and that can absolutely keep guys off the field. J.K. Dobbins is the A1 0RB click. He'll be healthy for 8 weeks. Yeah, he's a great 0RB click. 100% agree. 100% agree, Chris. Money ain't a thing. Save some. Yeah, he's hogging all of it. He's probably going to take another running back, because the guy that takes 7 running backs through 9 is also the guy who takes 8 running backs through 10. Greg says Team Trill just changed the advance rate for everyone. Yeah, he made this room a little weird. But that's okay. 120 and 121. What are we looking at running back? Yeah, it's so gross. This range is not great. I mean, I could pull up Mike Washington, but that's not super exciting. All right, so he takes Xavier Worthy there. Khalil Shakir goes. I think my preference, if I can get, would be Josh Downs. If Josh Downs is gone, then yeah, let's take Downs and Kincaid. I think would be a pretty nice start for us. So let's see if it still wants Kincaid. We do have Bowers, but Bowers Kincaid would be a lot of firepower at the tight end position. At, you know, again, wow, it shifted Fergie over Kincaid. Why is that? I don't know why it recalculated that, but I'm going to ignore that and just take Kincaid. I don't really understand. I was advised to take Jonah Coleman, and I did not. I'm hoping to be able to get somebody at 144, 145, but we'll see. What's the Jonah Coleman alpha? Because I take him a little bit, but not that much. I don't know. I haven't seen anything on his pro day. I don't know when Washington's is, or if it already passed, because he famously didn't run at the combine. Gunnar Ross says it loves Ferg more than life. I'm surprised it pulled Fergie up there, especially when it had Kincaid ahead of him before. And I don't mind Fergie. I think he's fine. You know, the tight end one in Dallas is a great click. Wow, this Tyler drafter took Chris Rodriguez at pick 126. Dear God, what's his ADP now? His ADP is 148. Okay, so that's really aggressive there. That is really aggressive. He's fallen enough to be a value. That's my take. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, he was going closer to pick 100. He wasn't separated that far from Jadarian Price. But yeah, he has been sliding. I don't hate it. I mean, how much Coleman do I have? I probably have like 4% Coleman. Let's see. Cole. I have 5% Coleman. Yeah, so I'm not like it's like a soft-ish. I wouldn't even say fade. I'm just like mildly underweight on him. Money Ain't a Thing says, I haven't met a man named Jonah I can trust. I haven't encountered too many Jonas, I have to say. But yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes you just got to go with your instincts. Money Ain't a Thing, I took Chris Rodriguez at 131 my last draft. He's a great value, guaranteed end zone carrier. Ooh. I don't know if I agree that it's guaranteed end zone carries, because they did like Tootin in short yardage, which is weird because I don't think that's what we thought when we had this like giga fast guy. We don't think of as goal line rusher, but they did come out and say at some point how much they liked him in those like short yardage near the goal line things. So I don't know if I agree that the worst case scenario is that Chris Rodriguez is really just a between the 20s runner. I think there is actually a worst case scenario than you're saying. Personally, I think it's an ambiguous backfield, and the old adage of take the cheapest price in the backfield makes sense. That kind of burned us with Dallas last year because I wasn't taking Javonte. I was taking Blue, and to a greater extent Miles Sanders. But yeah, I agree. I like Chris Rodriguez. I think that's actually not like an insane price for him. It's just like ahead of where the market is. But I do feel like there is more risk than maybe we're letting on. Crossface GM Candles. Hey, GM2 Crossface. I appreciate you so much for coming in and hanging out. Money Ain't a Thing, though, and saying I can do, yeah. A Jonah and the Whale reference from Chris. I was trying to figure out how I could shoehorn one in, and nothing was coming to me. We are one pick away from Ferguson rapping back to us, which is a little bit interesting. That is a nice fall on Fergie, but do I need a third tight end here? Probably not, right? Fergie goes. Mendoza is a nice click. This is a tough choice. I like Mendoza because I do have Bowers. My running back situation is... I also had Daniel Jones with Josh Downs. What does it want me to do here? Big Mike Washington has been falling, but I really like Keaton Mitchell, and he's not going to come back to me. I'm going to take Keaton Mitchell ahead of Mike Washington. Mike Washington's been sliding a little bit, I have to say. Keaton Mitchell won't come back. I was talking about how much I like him. I'm going to grab him there. And so this team so far is a 3-4-4-2 with Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Fernando Mendoza, Bijan, Josh Jacobs, Blake Corum, Keaton Mitchell, Mike Evans, Devontae Adams, Mike Wilson, Josh Downs, and then Brock Bowers, Dalton Kincaid. So there we go. Not too bad of a team. A little bit different of a wide receiver room than I have. I'm not huge on Devontae Adams, but he did make a certain amount of sense. A lot of quarterback draft capital for me, at least, going Hurts and Purdy kind of early, but I think it seems fine. Arlock said Dan Orlovsky just said Ty Simpson is the best QB in this class. Okay. I mean, he could be. That's certainly not something I've heard elsewhere. I think Ty Simpson at this point is definitely draftable when you have two quarterbacks you feel good about. I mean, I considered passing Mendoza to take Mike Washington and Keaton Mitchell there, with the idea I would take like a very late quarterback like a Ty Simpson. It seems like there's a very good chance Ty Simpson goes to a team like the Jets or even like the Cardinals, and then he's starting at the back half of the season, and that could be valuable. So I don't mind the Ty Simpson click. There is a chance that it's also, again, a full redshirt year. I mean, you do have to have that concern, and I think we'll get more clarity after the draft depending on where he lands. Hey, Artillery Frost, GM, hope you're having a good one. Appreciate you so much for coming in and hanging out, Artillery Frost, famously inventor of the term chaperone, which again we just haven't heard as much this year. I don't know. Maybe it's because we're doing, drafting running backs earlier. We haven't had as much need for chaperone, and maybe more in zero RBs. I don't know, Artillery Frost, but appreciate you so much, Artillery Frost. Greg says C-Rod is undoubtedly better than Tootin and LeQuinton at the goal line. Betting they bring in another back to complicate the issue even more. That is very live, Greg. That is very live. And that's why I continue to have this fade on Tootin. If nothing happens after the draft, then I will capitulate. But I don't know. I just have this weird feeling like Tony Pollard ends up on the team, and it's like an utter nightmare for everybody. I know they're in the same division, so that makes like a trade less likely. But I don't know. Money ain't a thing. Keaton Mitchell is going to be more involved than people expect. I agree. Chris saying, Chad, between drafts, can we get a bracket battle update? Sure. It's going to have to be quick because I got to make sure that the next draft finishes before 10. But the spoilers, very middling performance from me this year. I think I have down to 5 Elite 8 teams. But my final 4 is still alive because I didn't have Florida. The chaperones are in charge this year. Exactly, Greg. Exactly. It's all chaperones, and now they're like have to. You know what? They should start calling these late rookies like influencers. Like the chaperones need like the cool kids to show up at the party, so they're paying. They have to pay the influencers to come. I don't know. All right, let's see what we got here. The sidekick wants a 4th quarterback? Like, I like Brissett, I get it. But I don't think that makes sense to me. Help me understand, sidekick. Gosh, running back is dead. So dead. All right, I'll take Calvin Ridley first. Speaking of chaperones. But I've been trying to get more Chig. I mean, I do... No, you know what? I'm going to take Jalen Naylor here. He's been rising quite a bit. I like Chig, but this team does have Bowers and Kincaid. So let's just grab that. Running back is really in shambles this late. So I'm glad at least I have 4 that are somewhat reasonable. Greg says they were always in charge. We just woke up from the rookie running back malaise. Yep. We were really. I think last year was kind of a big wake-up call because it was supposed to be such a good rookie running back class, and you kind of didn't have those. I'm trying to think on like Sherman's team. Like I don't know if I think you might have needed Scatabo if he'd stayed healthy, but beyond him, Genty was like fine. He did a little better late, and then like. Travion, you have to consider a disappointment. He gave you a couple enormous weeks, but he didn't help you down the stretch, I don't think. Hampton could barely beat out Dobbins. He needed Dobbins to get hurt I don't know. I'm with you. I think it was a big wake-up call. Jalen Naylor is the Oakland wide receiver 1 for what that's worth. He's never had a real opportunity to shine in Minnesota. He'll have amper. You know what? Money ain't a thing. I think I agree with this take. And I will say, like, watching last year, McCarthy, when McCarthy was in trouble, he would go to Jalen Naylor. It was weird. Like, you'd expect to be like, oh, well, let me throw it to Jefferson. And he was always like trying to force it to Naylor. I don't know why. But yeah, it's got to be hard playing in the shadow of Jefferson and Addison, who are both very good. So I'm with you. I feel like Naylor is a sneaky great pick. Now, you know, I know you meant Vegas. They're very live to draft a wide receiver as well, which could complicate things. But I think he's going to be somewhat useful. Chili Frost, the rookies ended up being good advance rate picks, obviously. Okay. Yeah, I'd love to see. I need like a chart of that, Artillery Frost. I'm not asking you to make the chart. I'm more speaking out loud. Like, I'd love to see what the advance rates are. I really should get that. Artillery Frost, like Ibuka, Judkins, Scatabo were good advance rate smashes and died down the stretch. Yeah, exactly. Injuries like that just sucks. Ibuka was weird though. Ibuka was so weird. Ibuka was like, separation score Twitter was like pounding the table that this guy was gonna like regress, and he ultimately did. But they had so many people coming in and out of the wide receiver room that it was a little bit weird. All right, let's see. Wow, Malik Washington all the way up to 196. That is early. The sidekick likes him there. My goodness. All right, let's take Malik Washington. Again, we started our wide receiver room at pick with our 4th pick, so please let me take Malik Washington. All right. And now let's see what it wants me to do. Does it still want Surratt? It still wants Surratt here. I think I'm going to IKB that a hair. I'm going to take Singleton on this team because running back does get so bad. And again, our running back 3 is like a rotational / backup running back in Blake Corum. Our running back 4, we're hoping is good, but again, they could limit him to like 6 touches a game, and that shouldn't surprise anyone either because he is, not necessarily built to be a monster usage guy. So I think I might want 7 running backs on this team. I definitely want 6. I'm not going to stop here, even with Bijan and Jacobs, but we'll add Singleton to the team. Yeah, hey, no, I still call them Oakland sometimes. No worries. Greg says, Chad, it's a Tolbert narrative. I'm going to fall for it. New Westbrook Ikeeners are going to work this time. Yeah, I don't know. There are definitely people out there who think Malik Washington is not a great pick and Tolbert is better. I don't know. I probably should be taking some Tolbert. I think I got 1 share on DraftKings this weekend on a Malik Willis team, but it's possible. Greg, to be candid, the answer might be none of these people. The answer might just be, it might be like the Jets last year, where it's just like you don't want any of these receivers. Artillery Frost, well, the point I'm making is rookies had a lot of insane. Oh, okay, and none exploded down the stretch. Burden was the guy you needed. Okay, no, Artillery Frost, that's a good point. Yeah, and I remember that it was weird because it was the exact opposite of how we expect rookies to go, right? In our minds, it's like they'll start off slow and be the late season hammers. And you're completely right. We got the inverse of that. And Burden did not do much until that week 17 game. I think he had like 1 or 2 like usable but not great weeks. And then week 17 he was like, was he like wide receiver 2 or something? Like he was like the literally guy you needed. So yeah, I know that's a good point, Artillery Frost. Chris says, pretty sure Benson and Marshawn Lloyd are undraftable, but does anyone remember how they were viewed in dynasty leagues? Crazy to think of the fall-offs for those 2. Yeah, I agree. Marshawn Lloyd, man. They're like, oh, we sent him out west for like healing. I'm like, that sounds like what you tell your kid. Like, oh yeah, the dog, he's on the farm. It was pretty bearish stuff. Trey Benson, though, man, the injury thing is unfortunate for him. I think it's going to end up being Algier and Connors, and Benson is like a camp cut, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, they could keep all 3, but I think the way I've heard the situation described, it's probably going to be 2 out of the 3. And with one of Connors or Benson, the odd man out, and I would assume it's Benson. I mean, I don't know what he's shown at all to warrant keeping him around at this point. Hartman, GM to you. Appreciate you so much for coming in, hanging out. Money ain't a thing. Noting, I like Tolbert in Miami. Tolbert is Malik Willis's guy. My last draft, I stacked Willis with round 19 Tolbert and round 20 Dulcich. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that. I don't know why you say he's his guy. I'm not sure if they like played in. I don't know if that's like based on anything or not. But I'm willing to buy it. I'm totally willing to buy it. Greg says AD Mitchell was very useful down the stretch. I don't care how bad the team is. Give me the route participation against the ADP. Yeah, he had, what did he have? Like 2 good games, 1 good game. I guess I just don't know if very very useful. I do remember the one like explosive game like week 13. I just can't remember if he did much thereafter. Also, yeah. But yeah, that whole offense was just in utter ruin. I'm gonna queue up Ollie Gordon. Speaking of utter ruin in the Dolphins, if they do trade away A-Chain, that could end up being a really good pick. Surratt is still here. I'll just grab that, sure. So we'll go Gordon and no, I'm going to take Gunnar Helm, actually, and then we'll end our team with probably a wide receiver. All right, it's 9:10. I think I'm going to hop into another big board so that it finishes before Pete comes on. So I'm going to hop into a big board now. We'll go back and we'll see who Mr. Irrelevant. Oh my gosh, it's snap filled. I'm sorry. I was going to try to get you guys in. That was not the not trying to hide from anyone, but now I got punished. I got pick 11 in this room. So we've got that going. And you know what, Greg, you asked about the bracket challenge. I don't think you can view it on desktop, can you? I think that's like mobile only. But my final 4 is Duke, Illinois, and then Arizona and Michigan, with Michigan beating Duke in the final. That's what I have. And then in another bracket I have Houston over Illinois. So apologies for that snap filling there. See, I knew this was going to happen. Chad, Malik Washington, what's the point? For those that don't know, Emo Cowboy famously went on a rant about Malik Washington having no point in Miami because all Malik Willis can do is throw deep, and Malik Washington is incapable of running past 6 yards downfield. In fact, he's like a shopping cart, and they have like the line, and if you cross it, the thing locks up. That's how he views Malik Washington. Like, he's just not allowed to go deep. I would say it's this late in the draft. It's not like Tolbert's ever done anything. Ryan Flournoy might be better than him. So I don't know. Believe in something. I'll believe in Malik Washington. I will say he is part of the old regime. So, you might be right. But all right, hold on. I'm now managing 2 drafts and the chat. I'm not good at either thing. So let's put Ted Hurst in the queue. Let's put Antonio Williams in the queue. And Mac Hollins in there, and we'll get one of them, and I can update you all on who. All right, go back to this draft, pull the board up. Crossface asking, do you think there's a chance Jonnu lands back in Miami? I have not heard anything to that effect, so I don't know. I would assume not, but I don't have any reason to say why he wouldn't, other than like I feel like that's kind of uncommon. I don't know what kind of, like, if there was any animosity when he was traded away or something. Justin Jefferson goes, so we'll take James Cook here. It seems good. Greg says that's a narrative I was referring. Tolbert and Wilson are friends. Big connection at the 2022. Okay, yeah, I did not know that. There we go. Shower narrative. Yeah, Money, and I think Malik Willis and Tolbert are close friends. They were teammates at the Senior Bowl, remain close. Wow. Instrumental in bringing him to Miami. And here I am, like a dope, taking Malik Washington, getting chastised by Emo Cowboy for so doing. All right, let me go back to the other draft. We'll wrap it up. We're 1 pick away. And I think we'll just end this with Ted Hurst. Bijan, Jacobs, Corum, Mitchell, Singleton, Gordon. It's either DeMercado or Hurst. I'll just take Ted Hurst, I guess. And that will wrap that team up. All right, not too bad, not too bad. Let's go back to the new draft and see what's going on over there. But appreciate all of you guys so much for coming in, hanging out this morning. One thing we know for sure, says Greg, he's way better than every wide receiver currently on our roster. Yeah. It's dark times, Greg. Dark times. We're like paying more in dead cap than in players on the team. Believe in something to defend an old regime 6th round literal tiny man slot receiver with the career ADOT and production profile of a poor man's James White is a choice. Fine. Next time we have a Dolphins dust ball receiver to take, I'll take Tolbert. But I honestly think the answer might be none of these people. Aside from Tolbert, yeah. I believe in unicorn. I mean, why not? Why not? What's more believable, giraffes or unicorns? When you really think about it, giraffes are absolutely absurd. It's a horse with a horn. That's not that crazy. But yet, you know, I hear you, money ain't a thing. Tutu has dusted Malik in the NFL so far. Well, Tutu's also had superior quarterback play. Malik Washington has suffered through being a Dolphin. GM, everyone, always been Brian. I knew I liked you for a reason. Always been a Malik Washington fan, and here we have Emo Cowboy just crushing on the. Here's the other thing, but appreciate you, Brian. I'm not proud. I'm not proud of my Malik Washington exposures. I'm not happy I took him. I'm actually ashamed. Yeah, chastise Cowboy, man. Exactly. Oh my God. I'd hate to be getting a performance review from Emo Cowboy. I'd be crying in the NASA locker room. All right, hold on. Let me get back to that and let me make a pick. Tet McMillan. The machine loves Higgins and Rice over Tet. I will say that. Usually it wants Rice over Higgins, so I'll use this opportunity to just take T Higgins and then see what it wants us to do here. If the dynasty passes on Rashee Rice, I'm going to grab him. He does not. And yeah, I'm just going to take Kyron here. I think there's a big teardrop at this point. And I would have Javonte over Bucky. So we got James Cook, Devon Achane, Kyron Williams, and T Higgins here. Emo noting, real issue is I believe Miami runs a lot of heavy personnel and won't be running much small slot. Yeah, I guess I just don't know too much about what the new regime is going to want to do. But I have been taking Dulcich because I do envision a role for him. I also think the Dolphins are going to draft a tight end, if not sign another guy. So the Dulcich click could be like a time capsule again, where you know when you drafted a team because he's undraftable after, but we'll see. Emo noting Dolphins dust ball is a great team, 100%. And I'm wearing a Tua jersey, so I fit right into the Dolphins dust ball. Keep going. Emo Native American. Oh my gosh, the Toxic Tower. First of all, Emo Native American, appreciate you coming in, hanging out. The Toxic Tower is second to none for having people coming in with variants of the members. They're saying it's the best guerrilla marketing out there. So I mean, I'll buy in. If you don't sub to the Toxic Tower, you absolutely should. They do great stuff. They've got, you know, their fans are legion here. Money and a thing. Changing my name to Emo Trailblazer. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're everywhere. RPO bubble screens to Malik Go Burr. All roads lead to the franchise savior that is our home. The worst part, Greg, is I'm such a sucker. I've rooted for this sucker team my whole life, right? I mean, we haven't won a playoff game since 2000. That's 26 years ago. So if we draft Arch Manning, I'm going to be all in. But right now, I'm like, oh, he's going to suck too when he gets here. Crutches, surely the unproductive wide receivers will suddenly be good on a projected. Exactly. Positive game scripts, Crutches. But appreciate you, Crutches, for coming in, hanging out. Yeah, I tend to agree. The answer to some of these Dolphins receiver questions is likely none of the above. Dulcich the Joker. God. Every time I hear Joker roll now. Michael Wilson would like a word, says Jake. Well, Unfortunately, I am a Michael Wilson truther, so I can't even push back too much about that. But I do agree with Crutch's greater point in there. Even if I buy the example, I do like Jerry Rice. All right, Sidekick wants me to take Carnell Tate. I think I'm light on Carnell Tate. I'll grab a share. Why not? Why not? I think I'd prefer that to a fourth receiver here, and I'll probably do one of Lemon or Watson. If both of them are gone, I think I would take Burrow to pair with Higgins over the fourth running back, but we can see. So there goes Watson. See if the dynasty agrees or if he takes a running back here. I also really like Tyler Warren. Been trying to get more of him, but I think on this draft I might try to I might take Lemon here. So as much as I do like Swift, I'll take two of the big three and go Tate Lemon. So pretty slappy team so far. Cook, A-Chain, Kyron, and then Higgins, Tate, and Lemon. Fantasy football and God bless spring break. No traffic at all. Hey, appreciate you, fantasy football in Espanol. I'm glad there's no traffic and you're still find reason to tune in, but appreciate you so much. By the way, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please like the video. Please sub to the channel. All these things help so much. And of course, consider becoming a member. We got a candle with your name on it waiting for you. But again, thank you all so much for hanging this morning. Chris saying team environment makes me question A-Chain's draft position. Yeah, it definitely could be bad. It's one of those things where it's the eternal battle of a rushing quarterback tends to improve the running back's yards per carry, but at the cost of they might lose some touchdowns or whatnot. Also might lose some dump offs, which would be really bad. We'll see how much they scheme. Passing to the running back was a big part of the previous offense. We'll see if that stays. But there's also a world if A-Chain gets traded and is suddenly Seattle's RB1, and then we're just like wheels up on A-Chain. So I feel like he's probably fine in Miami with the potential out of being like really going somewhere really good. Gotta ban the largest outliers. Very smart. Notes Crutches. Yeah. Emo and Crutches aligned here. Crutches also highest pass rate attempts around in an offense playing in garbage time, a pocket passer vet versus a mobile young QB. And Michael Wilson, Malik not even in the same universe, or Tolbert didn't even know he was on the team. Yeah, Tolbert kind of snuck on the team along with Tutu Atwell. So it's pretty grim. But yeah, I agree. Michael Wilson was not like a terrible prospect coming out, if I remember. So I do think I agree that it is a little bit different. Jake making fun of people. Well, it's we got to have these discussions because it is March 23rd, and we would literally have nothing to talk about here. Literally nothing to talk about. Chris, no, quit harshing the mellow. Yeah. GM to you, Skeletor. Hope you're having a good one. Emo notes that my fun is done in the grass around some ass in the sheets. Respectfully. There we go, Emo Cowboy. I'm glad I read that out loud. Skeletor, like and subscribe to help Chad fund a new stream. Is my mic not good? Or is it just people hate the R2D2 mic? Either way, I believe both of them. I'll donate $100 if Chad's new mic represents a hearty, girthy hog to crank. I was looking at one that was pretty girthy. I'll run that by you, Emo Cowboy. Perfectly Cromulate, GM brother. Hey, GM to you, Perfectly Cromulate. Appreciate you so much for coming in, hanging out, and not making fun of my poor benighted microphone here. And Tyler Algier goes, the machine wants me to take Fannin. Of course it wants me to take Mahomes. I think I'm a little light on Fannin. We'll take him. It's fine. A small bit of ADP value. And then do we want Mahomes? Do we want Addison? I think I will. Oh, I thought I had back-to-back picks here. All right, if Mahomes is gone, we can decide what we want to do. if we actually want to take Dart or not. Mahomes is gone. Interesting. All right, let's push quarterback. Let's take Addison here. We do have 2 rookies, could come along a little slower. We think with Kyler, Addison will be better. So let's try it. I did think I was going to get Mahomes. Again, I kind of forgot that I was not on the turn. Money ain't a thing. Last year, Darnold was QB 27 because people worried about him getting benched for Jalen Milroe. People may be too low on Miami offense. I mean, there's clearly a difference in what's going on in. I love this comp as a Dolphins fan. I don't really see it at all, though. The Seahawks were a much more complete team. They have a competent defense. They had an elite running game. They had JSN. Dolphins have none of these things. We have a sketchy O-line, a terrible defense. We're arguing about Jalen Tolbert versus Malik Washington versus Tutu Atwell. That said, I do like Malik Willis. I think you might get the game script I mean, I know Crutches was talking about the game script for Brissett and Mike Wilson. I think the Dolphins are live to have those just, we don't really care about wins or losses. We just want to see what we have. Let's open up the offense. Like, there could be some kings of garbage time, and garbage time could literally begin in the second quarter. So yeah, there's definitely a path to fantasy relevance. I think it's going to come in a very different way than the Seahawks. Like, the Seahawks were relevant because they were an electric team. The Dolphins fantasy relevant might be how the Cardinals were fantasy relevant last year. Chris says, off topic, my garden tilted and the crepe myrtles will be planted later in the week. My farmland is getting some, oh my gosh. Unironically living the dream, Chris. That is amazing. That is amazing. You got to love a good crepe myrtle there, but appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, that's so cool. Saber notes, are there any stats you wish could be counted in fantasy for something like catch rate, game-winning scores, etc.? Yes. Pass interference yardage should count for the receiver and the quarterback. If you get a 40-yard PI, you should be credited just the same as a 40-yard reception. That is a hill I will die on. If any site wants to do that, I'm in, because I don't understand. There's no difference. The net effect is you advanced your team that far down the field. All right, let's see what the kick wants us to do. It likes Tony Pollard. I think I'm going to actually agree and take Pollard here, and then hope that this guy doesn't take Stafford. If he does take Stafford, then I think I would just take an unstacked Jordan Love or even Tyler Shuck here. But we missed out on Kyler, who I was kind of hoping to get. I'll just take Stafford here. I don't want to get totally behind in quarterback. So we'll pair Kyler with his running back. Not my favorite thing in the world, but it's fine. Emo getting Chad to read these chats is making... Yeah, this happens to me. I'm very Ron Burgundy on the teleprompter. People know this. Emo sounds rad. Yeah, we need the picks. Saber tackles. I want players getting rewarded for hustling on turnover plays. Oh my. Yeah, a QB can undo the interception if they tackle. If they tackle the corner running past him. That Darnold statement has no correlation. I'm not worried about Malik getting benched, same as Fields. Yeah, I think they are very, very different universes. But again, hey, I would love the Dolphins and the Seahawks to be considered in the same universe. Saber agrees with the tackle take. Yeah, it'd be fun. Emo is always good to have around. He's smart. Oh, Emo's the best. We know Emo. Emo knows ball for sure. And you're never going to agree with everyone's opinions on stuff. I mean, Seahawks had a top 3 defense and yeah, exactly. Says Purple Yosh. GM C Money. Hey, GM to you, C Money. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Appreciate you so much. Chris says, that's a good one, Chad. Pass interference. Yeah, I just don't see why not. Everybody's victory lap Seattle. I don't remember these takes before the season. Says all vibes, no value. Hey, all vibes, no value. That is a fantastic username. I appreciate that. I do kind of agree with you. I don't know if people are victory lapping Seattle, but there definitely were people taking Milroe because they said that Darnold was, 50-50 to play the full season. And then they won the Super Bowl, So there definitely was not as much confidence in Darnold as there is now. Greg says, justice for blocking tight ends. Give me 0.5 for a successful pass, bro. Yeah, there's a definite world for a high T league. You could do the same for running backs. The running back picks up a good block. You got to reward them. Chad Candles. Money ain't a thing. All vibes, no value. Literally my exact point. No one said any of these overly optimistic Seattle comments this time last year. Yeah. No, we were not overly optimistic about them. I think there were people afraid to draft JSN because of Darnold. And there were people afraid to draft JSN because they thought Milroe might be throwing the ball last year. Like, these things happen. These were fears people had. Greg, would you want it to apply? Yeah, I would too. I would, Saber. Oh man, I would have windmilled in Malik Willis at pick 131, but he is gone. All right, Stroud is up there. Ugh, Stroud is not my favorite. Nor is KC Concepcion. Yikes. This is such a gross range. I think I'm going to take Cam Ward. I'm not really a big CJ Stroud guy. I'll take the Cam Ward's easier to backstack late, so I'd rather do that. Bryce Young, Mendoza are options. Juwan Jennings, when he signs, might rise. I'm just starting to get a little skeeved out that he hasn't signed yet. But I'll go with the sidekick. I'll take a Juwan Jennings share. He's a little uncomfortable being that he's not on a team, but that has caused him to drop. So for the audio listeners, we're up to a 2-4-5-1. Stafford, Cam Ward, James Cook, A-Chain, Kyron, Tony Pollard. Wide receiver room of T. Higgins, Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, and then Harold Gannon. So we did stack up Ward and Pollard, but we'll see if that ends up being a stack. If Jordan Love comes to town, not Jordan Love, Jeremiah Love comes to town, we could see Pollard on the move there. All right. Yeah, Greg's in on the running back blocking. Rashad White, RB1. There we go. Crutches says, we were talking about a 30 ADP wide receiver. That's a different story than speculating on literal dust balls with horrible profiles who now get a downgrade. You can just take wide receivers projected to go on day 2, or Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor, who have actually shown stuff in the NFL. Surely Tolbert, who's never produced a system with Dak and got mogged by Flournoy, is now going to sign. That's my problem. I agree with you on the Tolbert, because I mentioned that when it came up at first, that losing to Ryan Flournoy does not feel great. I also take like your Ted Hursty guys in that range. I'm considering them a tier below your Brazzles, your Jeremy Bernards, your Lanes. A lot of those guys end up being zeros, but I guess it depends. It depends on your outlook. Like, guy who's in the NFL on a team who probably has a roster spot versus, the guy who is live to be a lot of like Ty Felton, Malachi Corley guys who we were excited about. I think I generally agree that I would rather take one of those rookies who's going to go on day 2 than the complete dust balls. Willie GM, appreciate you for coming in, hanging out. Crutches, though, noting Antonio Williams, 239, projected pick 70, Chris Bell, pick 54 next to Brazel. Yeah. So again, I think especially in the big board, to your point, we can take these guys. Maybe they're zeros, but if they get the right capital and landing spot, we'll be taking them way earlier in BBM, and we're probably not taking Tolbert at all. So, I generally agree with the with what you're saying there. So I can get I can be swayed off of taking some of these guys. All right, we got Mendoza, Brissett, and Gino at the top of the queue. I think we take Mendoza and run at this point in the draft. So we'll do that. We missed out on the really fun Keaton Mitchell click here. That's okay. Jonathan Brooks, Woody Marks, James Conner. Just a lot of not fun stuff in this range. I could see agreeing as far as which wide receiver to take here and taking Calvin Ridley. We started Cook, A-Chain, Kyron. I'm willing to just grab Ridley here so that we lock up that stack with Cam Ward. All right. Greg goes, JSN extension. Wonder how. Oh, I missed that. 4-year extension. There we go. Huge. Chris says Flournoy won me money last year in the daily draft streets. He will always. Yep. I played him in Showdown that week too, and it was a good week. I think I also had Lamb, but yeah, Flournoy was incredible. Emo says Tolbert sucks, but Ryan Flournoy has an elite RAS. To be fair. There we go. I have seen Ryan Flournoy get drafted by some cowboy extremists out there. Greg says Antonio Williams good at football. Need more. There we go. Chris Bell may take a redshirt year. Says money ain't a thing. I thought he was supposed to be ready, but maybe not. He's the ACL guy. I thought the timeline lined up to where he would be ready for like the very start of the year, but was going to miss training camp. But I don't think he's a guy I'm taking much of, if any. But again, he could be a guy. We'll see where he goes, and maybe we get a little more on the medical stuff. Chris says if Pickens or Lamb goes down for a few games, Flournoy will shine. Yeah, and sometimes contingent value at wide receiver isn't really a thing, but with him it kind of was. So I don't mind that. Like sometimes the starting receiver gets hurt and nobody really like picks up the slack to nearly the same level. But Flournoy did do it. We did see that last year. Dirt Bike Luke like in Flournoy. There we go. They're coming out of the woodworks. I appreciate you, Dirt Bike Luke. Perfectly Cromula. I like taking Flournoy for no other reason. It's a bet against Pickens, who's an absolute nutcase. In other news, JSN 4 years, 168 million. My God. Good for him. Good for him. That's quite the deal to lock up JSN, but that's the going rate for elite wide receivers these days. But no, I have concerns about Pickens for sure. Like he doesn't want to play on this franchise deal, and you have Jerry Jones who doesn't like to pay people what they're worth. So we could. There's a little more risk than maybe people are realizing there, I think. All right, let me just grab Chig. And let me see what else is here. Gosh, it's so bad. All right. I'll take Chig and then see what the sidekick wants me to do. Running back is just such a dead area at this point. Yeah, Tank Dell goes. Trey Tucker, Malik Washington. I think I missed Naylor, right? Yeah, I missed Jaden Naylor. The sidekick wants Malik Washington. I'll take Gunnar Helm now, and then we'll be done at tight end. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so we have a big Tennessee stack on this particular team, but kind of panicked a little bit, but that's okay. All right, I need 1 second. All right, we're back. And yeah, again, this draft snap filled, so we don't have any friends and family to go over, but kind of a fun team. The Rams are a little tough in that they don't have like a great late round click other than their cavalcade of tight ends, and of course we just took our third tight end, so Stafford is live to only be with with Kyron on this team, unless, of course, they take one of Tate or Lemon, and we back our way into a stack here. We're still very light on running back, but again, I think the sidekick is just really low on a lot of these running backs, and we're really going to rely on Kyron, A-Chain, Cook, and Pollard on this team, and it truly may not even ask us to take another one. We're going to see what happens here. Chris, I've taken no Pickens in 33 drafts because I'm always taking an RB instead. Yeah, that's another thing is the running backs in round 3 feel a lot more comfortable than Pickens there. So he is to me a little bit of a tough click, but he's also capable of being wide receiver 1 in a given week. So having none of him, it feels a little like a Amari Cooper from 4 years ago now, where they didn't have the greatest season and then they put up 45 fantasy points in week 16, and it's like, well, the fade worked until it didn't. He's definitely a candidate for being that kind of guy. Like we know the explosive single week upside is there, even if you have to put up with a range of nonsense in the interim. Dirt bike Luke, allergy. I wish I could blame it on allergy season, but it's just having a 2-year-old who's always sick. Dude quits on games. Let's draft him in the second round. How about no? Says Chris. Again, I'm very light on Pickens, very, very light, and that's part of the reason. There's just a lot of weird mercurial wide receiver risk with him, but again, it is scary fading a guy with that big an upside. The sidekick wants a 4th tight end. I'm going to not do that, and I'm going to take Chris Brazel on the team instead. So we got a lot of rookies on this team. We got Tate, Lemon, and Brazel in the wide receiver room. Stowers goes there. Brian Robinson, Katron Allen. All right, I'll take Surratt here. No, you know what? I'm actually going to take Ollie Gordon. I think Ollie Gordon is going to rise up, and maybe this is a little bit of a hedge. We have A-Chain. If A-Chain gets moved, this could be kind of a 2-for-1 situation. So I don't mind that. Again, I don't really believe that much in Ollie Gordon. I don't think he's that great. I think the Dolphins are live to add someone else in the draft because this is an old regime player. But they have so many needs. There's also a chance they're just like, all right, we'll worry about that later. And I think for me, it's Gordon over Wright. Wright to me is terrible. Perfectly Cromulate, 6'4", 437, 40, and 1,000 receiving yards last year. I like the production as much as the size speed combo. Are you talking about Chris Brazel there? I think that's who you're talking about. Hartman, do you think your immune system will be unstoppable when your kid's older? You've been training all this time. I sure hope so. Hartman. I'm going to get a job at like an infectious disease ward, and I'm going to be able to walk around without a mask. Yeah, it's super brutal. All right, yeah, Brazel. Okay, perfect. That's who I assume that's who you meant. 6'4" was a little bit of a giveaway because there's not too many prospects that big. But yeah, I'd also heard something that the Tennessee offense is less scammy than it used to be. So maybe some of that's a little more real than previous volunteer prospects. Looking at the board, seeing one weird pick, we see Justin Fields goes in round 18. Typically, I think if you want Fields, you can get him in round 20, but this drafter with Tua said, I need Justin Fields on this team. Ryan Flournoy, the aforementioned Flournoy, goes to the 1 hole. Again, don't see anything too crazy. No one went really 0 RB. No one went like super heavy RB. Very balanced teams in this particular room. All right. Yeah, so this is going to pace just fine to end before 10. Appreciate all of you so much for hanging this morning. This was a ton of fun, and I will be back tomorrow at the normal time, 8:30 a.m. But yeah, please, if you can, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. All those great things help so much. So again, just want to thank you all for coming in, having a good discussion about the Dolphins dust balls and everything else. Late round draft, as we are now pretty much one month away from the NFL draft, which I will be attending. If you're there, let me know. I'm very excited to be out there. All right, let's take Jeremy Bernard, assuming he's still there. If Jeremy Bernard goes, then we'll figure out what we want to do. Wile E. Coyote takes the full clock to take Ray Davis. We'll take Jeremy Bernard. What does the sidekick want me to do? I'm assuming another wide receiver. All right, do we want Jacoby Lane? All right, we'll listen to the sidekick. We'll take Jacoby Lane here as that wraps this team up. I guess I probably could have waited till the other draft ended, but maybe not, because this this draft snap filled. So maybe it would have taken a minute or two to fill the other. But this team ends up being a 3-5-9-3. Matt Stafford, Cam Ward, Fernando Mendoza, James Cook, Devon Achane, Kyron Williams, Tony Pollard, Ollie Gordon, T. Higgins, Carnell Tate, Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Addison, Juwan Jennings, Calvin Ridley, Chris Brazzell, Jeremy Bernard, Jacoby Lane. So 5 rookie receivers out of 9 picks. But the non-rookies are kind of dusty, a little dusty. Higgins, Addison, Jennings, and Ridley. So kind of a different team here. And then Fannin, Chig, and Gunnar Helm. So kind of a fun team. A little different than I normally build. You know, getting Stafford, I don't want to say unstacked because we do have Kyron, but mostly unstacked. Not necessarily my favorite. Would have loved to have added a Naylor share. And then I thought I might be able to get Trey Tucker on the wrap. Neither of those things happened. And we were already full up at tight end when we took Gunnar Helm to end up with like a Michael Mayer pick. But that's A-okay with me. Perfectly Cromulent, Lane and Brazzell, my 2 favorite late round rookies. Well done. All right. I'm glad you like it, Perfectly Cromulent. And let's see some late picks. Antonio Williams does go in this draft. Fellow dustball Greg Dulcich, he goes here. Somebody chasing the Atlanta backup takes Nick Carter. I think his name's Nick. Carter, who is this? I need to look this up. This is going to bother me. Nathan Carter. I think Nick Carter is like a Backstreet Boy or something. But Nathan Carter, the on the Falcons depth chart, I don't think I've ever seen anyone try to land the Falcons backup running back. But there you go. You see that here. And that same drafter took Taj Brooks, who I've not seen drafted this entire season. So some interesting stuff happening here from Cutler, who I do believe is somewhat of a high volume drafter. So kind of interesting there. But everyone, again, this was a ton of fun. I know Pete goes live at 10, so I'm going to hop here, and then I'll be watching that one too. Jake says it's okay. All these late rookies are going on day 2. You know what? It's okay even if they don't. Puka didn't go on day 2, and that worked out for everyone. But appreciate you, Mr. Vinegar. Yeah, 5. I mean, when you take 5 of these rookie running backs, you're hoping like 1 or 2 of them pan out. I know they're not all going to be day 2 hits and smashes this season. But appreciate you so much, Jake. And Hartman, likewise, have a great one. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone.